I can tell you that the older that I get, the less and less people I find who will agree with me, even amongst Christians. But I'm okay with that because we are a little flock. We are a little flock. Now, I know I've been going off a little bit, but I want to encourage you because I want to build something up here. God says, I love those who love me. I love those. Notice what he says and notice what he doesn't say. I love those. Notice what he doesn't say. He does not say, I love all. Bear with me here. Don't go running for the hills. Hang in there. Treat this like any other discussion. God says, I love those who love me. Proverbs 8, verse 17. This is where I'm at. Proverbs 8, verse 17. The word of God, he says, I love those who love me. Clearly, the Lord is not saying here that he loves every single person. You can argue that he does, or you can argue that he doesn't. But what you cannot argue is what this verse actually says. This verse says, I love those who love me. Not all mankind, only those who love him. Now I got a question for all of you. If your understanding of John 3:16, which says God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, if you believe that when Jesus says God so loved the world, that means every single person without exception, then how do you explain Proverbs chapter 8, verse 17, when God says, I love those who love me? Now, let's take it a step further. There are the majority of mankind at any given era in the history of this existence of this earth. And the majority of mankind do not love God. They do not love Christ. They despise God. You have people on here who have no problem telling you that they hate God, that God isn't real, that God is not true, that God is a fairy tale. Like the girl here. There are thousands of contradictions in the Bible. These people are wicked people who do not love God. And none of you can say that they do. There is no one who loves God who gets cast into the lake of fire. There will not be one single soul in hell who loves God. Not one. There will not be one single soul in hell who loves God. So, if that is so, and it is, then when you look at Proverbs 8, verse 17, you have to ask yourself the question, what the word of God means when he says he loves those who love him. He loves those who love him. So what does that tell you about those who don't love him? There's only one conclusion that you can come to.